Another popular animal product in South Africa is poultry meat. And for now, that $20 billion market is at the center of a trade disagreement with the U.S. The U.S. is warning South Africa that it could lose a lucrative trade deal if it doesn't open up that market.
Welcome back. The dispute between South Africa and the United States over chicken import duties continues to hang over South Africa's extended inclusion in the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA. 2 United States senators have threatened to try to block South Africa from the lucrative US-Africa trade agreement if the country doesn't lift import duties on cheaper cuts of chicken.
South Africa just sent a message Washington never saw coming. For years, U.S. chicken flooded African markets, undercutting local farmers and dominating shelves. But today, everything changed. In a stunning move, South Africa has officially blocked U.S. chicken imports, and the fallout is massive.
Okay, guys, so welcome to a new set here, and yeah, let's get into it. Chicken farming. I've done a video about chicken farming already, but it was pretty focused on the equipment. There's a company here in Tanzania now that is owned by a Chinese guy, and they sell chicken farming equipment. So I think you guys should take a look at it because it's very related to this video I'm about to react to. Whenever trade war happens between superpowers, there's a lot of fallout and there's a lot of things that start to shift around. It creates massive opportunities for some people while other people lose. Opportunity never disappears. It just shifts hands. So what we're seeing now, what we've been seeing in Africa has been a lot of American imported chicken, and it's very cheap. Like, the Americans know how to do chicken farming at an aggressive level commercially, because they're super efficient at it. You know, they've been very efficient at it. Think about it. Americans eat a lot of chicken, and they're able to set up all these automations. There are a lot of chicken farms over there in America that would export a lot of the chicken globally, including into parts of Africa. So what that meant is it was easy for the Americans to completely dominate in a market like South Africa when it came to like chicken, because the rules were kind of relaxed on how much chicken you could import and all this stuff. So a lot of Americans were flooding Africa with cheap chicken. So a chicken would probably take 3 months to grow, 3 to 4 months, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 months in America. But in Africa, you know, the process is not as efficient, maybe 6 months to a year maybe, I don't know, because I'm not a chicken farmer. But if you're a chicken farmer, you know exactly why the Americans are superior at chicken farming. They have been superior at chicken farming for a long time. But because of this new trade war that the South Africans have just launched in the Americans, this creates a massive opportunity for the South Africans and the Africans too. Because this problem is not only affecting South Africa, it was affecting a lot of other African countries, like a lot of African countries in West Africa, Liberia, Sierra Leone. They were struggling with cheap imported chicken. So the locals could not make money off of raising chickens. Because of this, what South Africa has done, most of the African countries are going to start to copy this. If South Africa is doing it, so can Zimbabwe, so can Zambia, so can Tanzania. I'm not sure if Tanzania is doing it, but Botswana is going to start to do it. Namibia is going to start to do it. Okay, Mozambique is going to start to do it. All these African countries are going to start to copy, including Kenya as well, is going to start to do it. You know, of course, West African countries are going to do the same thing. But what I'm trying to say is this creates a massive opportunity. This is a wide open market for anybody that wants to come into Africa and start chicken farming. You don't have to be commercial scale like the Americans have been doing for a long time. You can be a small scale farmer, okay? You can start maybe with like 100 chickens. Within 6 months, you got 1,000. Before you know it, you're running a crazy operation. Within a year or 3 years of crazy discipline, you can completely like level up in this business because of this. So what I would recommend you do is you go to platforms like ChatGPT. That's why we have ChatGPT now. Go to ChatGPT and look up how to set up a poultry farm. Go to YouTube, look up poultry farmers all across the United States. There are a bunch of poultry farmers in the United States that are teaching people how to do poultry farming efficiently. And then you go to places like China, you import the equipment that is necessary. Here in Tanzania, I have a plug already, a supply over here in Tanzania. I already got one, the Chinese guy that I was telling you about. You can reach out to somebody like him through me, and then he can come and set you up wherever you are. If you're in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, South Africa, he can come set you up with all this equipment and set it up or set up all these automations. Because there's something that happens in a new market like this one. As the market is opening up, the way to compete is to come in with Western style of automations. You're bringing in the most efficient equipment, the most efficient processes, even if it's at a small scale, and you're servicing a small neighborhood. You can be completely like dominating a small neighborhood. So for example, let us say you are in, what's a small town? What's considered a small town? A medium-sized town in South Africa. Let's use Port Elizabeth in South Africa. I don't know what the population is of Port Elizabeth. Let's assume it's about 1 million people. I'm just guessing, maybe 500,000. If you start this operation and just focus on 100,000 people in Port Elizabeth, you'll make some money. You'll make some serious money off of 100,000 people. Just selling them chickens and eggs. I know a neighbor here of mine here in Tanzania, in this neighborhood that I live in. All she does is she sells eggs. That's it. She works from home, just selling eggs. And I buy 30 eggs from her every single week. Well, not me, my wife does. 30 eggs from her every single week. She's got consistent business from me. Then there's another guy who's got like a bunch of cows. He's got 3 cows, maybe 5 now. He's got 5 cows in his compound, just in his crib, in his house. He's got a big yard, and he's got 3 to 5 cows, I think. Last time I checked, it was 3, but I heard he's got 5 cows now. He's got these cows, and then he just sells milk to people in the neighborhood, including me and my family. So we're buying all our milk from that guy and buying our eggs from the next lady. So they got a complete monopoly on this little neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Of how many people live in this neighborhood? Maybe like 500 people that live in this neighborhood. But think about it. 500 customers buying from you constantly, consistently. That's how you get wealthy, man. That's how you get rich in Africa. You know, you can do something like that here in Africa. With the right discipline, with the right focus, you can do that. There's almost no competition.
American exporters are staring at a $450 million loss, while South African farmers are celebrating the biggest victory they've had in decades. This isn't just about chicken, it's about power, trade, and who controls the future of Africa's food economy. And the moment this decision hit the global market, analysts started calling it a wake-up call for the United States. Because if one African nation can break away from American agricultural dominance, more could follow. Stay with me, because what comes next might reshape global farming, global politics, and America's position in Africa forever. South Africa's bold decision to block U.S. chicken imports didn't just shake up the agricultural world, it sent shockwaves through global trade, Washington politics, and African economic.
Let me tell you something, guys. First of all, shout out to Afric Vibe News. These guys are putting out amazing content. Go subscribe to their stuff, man. In fact, I'm going to subscribe right now. You know, I don't want to be... Subscribe and like their content, guys. These guys are putting out really, really good content. And there's a bunch of South Africans that are about to get rich, guys. There are a bunch of South Africans that are about to get stupid rich out here. And as soon as this law gets passed in other African countries, a bunch of other Africans are about to get stupid rich. Just from raising chickens and raising, growing eggs, whatever. Growing eggs, you know what I'm saying? Selling eggs and chicken. Then you can set up operations like just go watch the video that I did where the Chinese guy here in Tanzania has a super efficient equipment that only takes 2 people to operate it. And you can even have your own slaughterhouse, and you can even have your own locations in different neighborhoods where you're just selling the chickens and the eggs only. That's what you're doing. So for example, you can open up a little store in every neighborhood. It doesn't have to be that big. It just be like a little corner shop in every single neighborhood that's got a big population. And all you're doing is you're selling chickens that already been plucked. They're ready to go to, they're already been plucked and what else? Cut up. And then you're selling eggs at the same time as well. That's all you're doing. That's your niche. You completely dominate on that niche. Oh man, your wins, it's not even fair. It's not even close. The level of winning, it's not even close. Like I said, go subscribe to this channel, okay?
Strategy. This moment is more than a trade ban. It's a tectonic shift in how African nations see themselves, how much economic power they are willing to reclaim, and how the United States handles the reality of losing influence in markets it once dominated. To understand the depth of this story, we must go back to the roots of the chicken trade, the political...
Yeah, so what I wanted to say is that you can control distribution. That's what I wanted to say. I said it in so many words, but control the distribution. I know this business in Harare, Zimbabwe, where he set up his own distribution. He rented out a bunch of storefronts in these neighborhoods, in different neighborhoods. He rented out a storefront and he puts a bunch of fridges like the one you guys are seeing right here. And all he does is he brings in his beef from whatever farm he's growing them at. Because in Zimbabwe, what we have now is we have these local Zimbabweans that have these big farms, commercial farmers. So this guy will have like 100 cows, or he's growing 1,000 cows, or I don't know how many. And then he slaughters those cows on site, brings them into the city on a storefront, puts the beef, the meat cuts rather. So we have the T-bone steaks and all this stuff. Puts them in this kind of fridge here, and so he basically handles the whole supply chain, from growth of the cows, the slaughtering of the cows, and the distribution of and sales. And it's not a massive operation. He probably has like maybe 5 storefronts in the whole city, but 5 storefronts, you're running your own operations on the back end, your own farm and everything. That's massive profits, guys. Massive. He's probably a millionaire, I'm sure of it. That's why I go to buy my meat. And a lot of other guys in Harare go to buy their meat from there because his prices are good and the quality of his meat is really good. But you're going to do the same thing with the chicken farming. You set up your storefront just like this, you sell your chickens and your eggs only. Then you have your chicken farm operation in the back. And you have your delivery trucks delivering the supplies to the storefronts. That's it. That's how you get rich. If you're ready to take this kind of level of chicken farming to the next level, if you're ready to work with the best, you need to figure out how to set up the right systems, the right automations. You need to find suppliers from China. You need a coach. You need a coach for all of this, and you need the best coach. If you're ready to work with the best, schedule time. I'll put a link in the description of this video. You will get to work with me. I'll be on your corner and your team, helping you set up all these things. Even if it means we've got to go to China and go to all these fridges, get all these equipments with that guy that I did a video about. Whatever the case is, we can make it happen. Schedule time. This is big money right now. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to making long money, generational wealth, the food services, selling food, you never go wrong. It doesn't matter how bad the economy is. People still gotta eat. People still gotta eat chicken. People still gotta buy eggs or bread. You know what I'm saying? That's another game we're going to talk about. If you set up something like this, you can win. It doesn't matter the economy. This is long money right here. If you're ready to work with the best, schedule time. Then I'm going to do a separate video about how to set up a bakery, because that's another thing, man. Like, if you guys are interested in setting up a bakery here in Africa, pick your location. I'll tell you how to set up the right systems. That's another long money game right there. That's like next level. You can operate next level if you start a bakery here. And you manage the whole process. Okay, from production of the bread to sales, excuse me, to sales. I'll teach you how to do all of that. Anyway, schedule time. Talk to you soon.